Hi guys, it's super uh pleasurable to be able to talk to you today. And apparently a lot of things have happened, and I'm happy to share the one of the biggest news of nowadays. Like running up to the election season, running up to the election day, we have just a few days left to go. And right now, in economics, the biggest news is that the Federal Reserve is cutting the interest rate after holding it high for quite a while since the pandemic, and the strong recovery out of the pandemic. It makes the Federal Reserve previously worry about the or about whether they could control the price level. That is why they've been holding the interest rate pretty high, actually. Um, uh, Obviously, the big picture is that the interest rate is, sorry, the price level is definitely under control right now. And we're just looking at a separate issue, which is the economy that could have a downward kind of risk, um, like a potential downward trajectory. That is why people are starting to move their attention away from the risk of high price level, which is not under control, into the risk of high unemployment. So that's why the Federal Reserve is moving with uh, enough resolve to uh, lower the interest rate. That is basically the economics logic behind it. Now, many people are curious or wondering how does that have anything to do, if any, with the politics trajectory in this country, in the United States of America? Well, in terms of the effect, when you have an interest rate going lower, it's supposed to be enrich the liquidity in the entire country. In liquidity as in commonly understood as credit, whether it's buying a house, the bank loans, or whether you're buying a car, you have some loans from whatever financial institution that help you to finance your purchase, making the down payment, and also even the other related cost for purchasing your item. That is called the credit. And in the macroeconomic picture, all sorts of credit combined is called liquidity. Liquidity is short for um, um, financial resources that are easily liquidatable. So, for example, if you have multiple assets right now in your hands, including various things like stocks and real estate, such as your home and everything, uh, and also those bank account balances, which one is more liquid and can be called liquidity? Of course, I'll give you a second to think. Have you have you thought about the answer? Of course, the first and most qualified for liquidity is your is your cash on your bank balance, because you can literally just drive up to your ATM and have them out today. Whereas if you want to actually make use of the value of your house, uh, it's gonna be a big project. You're gonna first have to find a place where you live next, uh, and probably move ahead of time there, vacating your previous house, and have your previous house put on the market for sale and show around for people who come to visit and check it out, and then negotiate with them the price, go through a brokerage agent to make all the legal papers, um, and go through all the legal proceedings of the transaction and transfer the house under the name of the purchaser. So all these steps, they take huge amount of energy, time, or even financial resources, whether it's from you or the purchaser. The middleman, the real estate agent, is sure to charge from this transaction. That is what I mean by liquid. Because in this case, in the house selling case, you will wait a long time um, um, before you can actually have a single dime out of based on the value of your house. You will wait a long time before you see a green bell that comes from owning your house previously so that you could use it as cash right now. That is not very liquidable. So it probably won't, this kind of financial resource probably won't be classified as liquidity. That is why when the Federal Reserve say they want to increase the liquidity in the economy, what they mean is to try to bolster up the immediately available resources for households and business to use to go on to further their economic activities. That is why anytime you hear lowering interest rate or increasing liquidity, that is a measure they take with the intent and the purpose of exactly shoring up the economy in the short run. It has more to do with the short run than the long run. It has less to do with like many presidential candidates say, make America great again, make America great again in the long run, make our infrastructure great again, make schools, hospitals great again. That has to do with medium term or long term goals, but lowering interest rate and bolstering up the liquidity, that has more to do only with the short term. So after we have seen this whole big picture of why they're doing what they're doing with the intent they're doing, we will now revisit whether it has anything to do with politics. Well, even though the Department of Treasury, the head of it, uh, the U.S. Treasurer, he or she might be affiliated with the government, with a specific political figure, that is the president, and she might as well, or he might as well even be affiliated with a party herself. Um, uh, in terms of the Federal Reserve, it is supposed to be politically neutral. Uh, on paper and on legal terms, it is also politically neutral. And frankly speaking, compare United States to the world around us, um, it's still maintaining a very considerable independency um, uh, uh, in terms of its relationship with the partisan politics. That is why, if you ask me if this lowering of interest rate has anything to do with pleasing any particular force in the politics in the short run, my answer should be no. Uh, uh, Even though that is actually happened, that is the case or have happened more than once in countries around the world. I think the United States has maintained quite a bit of independence, in so much so enough for me to say, to answer a no to your question. But around the world, things are kind of different. We have multiple countries with multiple paradigms of operation of their central banks and the relationship of it to their governments. We do have countries that where the central bank is totally under the command of the commander-in-chief of the government. We also have, like in Europe, the central bank, or European Union, where the central bank is not directly answerable to their governments, but they would be more involved in maintaining low price level and having stability in the economy, which some would argue is providing stability for whoever is in power. But that's an entirely different story. Historically, there are some European countries who have suffered great loss from inflation. So it's anyone's wish in their country to have price stability. Whereas in Asia, you have countries like China, Korea, and these countries, they are authoritarian country where the government literally tells the central bank what to do, what to set. By the way, one pop-up development from recently is that the Chinese government is doing a stimulus blitz from in terms of both monetary and physical policy. So that is sure to increase liquidity, not only in their own country, but also into other countries. That is why globally speaking, because of the connectedness of economies in the globe to each other, we are not going to see some shortage of liquidity or high interest rate anytime soon. So it is, in terms of businesses, it's going to be a good time looking ahead, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm very glad to talk about interest rate and the larger picture of central bank independency, as well as an international factor to it today. This is a short video about economics, and I'm looking forward to having more of those to share with everybody who is willing to learn. Thank you guys so much, and have a great morning for now. Bye.